Buenos Dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it? You already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Here goes another one. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a mother. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a mother. Smack at it. Ba-ya. 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 Orderly, I was doing the Thriller, Michael Jackson. As you can tell by that thumbnail right there, indubitably, something that's never been told on YouTube. You already, Gar! He's over there now. I moved him. Get your ass over there, homie. We ain't got time for that. Now trip out. Gracias on the new setup. You see how we're doing it, man? Thank you to all my subscribers, and thank you to all my people that are hardworking. And thank you to myself for getting up every morning and going to work, because Sasuke, without me, none of this would be possible. And without you, gente. Now let's get straight to it in a menudo style, in a direct fashion, with my Wish jersey on. Yes, it's fake. Yes, One never knows, does one? But what I do know for sure, shout out to the homegirl, got it for me for my birthday. I'm going to stay rocking it, fake or not. Now, let's get to the story. What I wanted to talk about is Sanjo, the city of San Jose, Sharksteros, Sanjoneros, stand up, real talk, real life. Some of the hardest norteños that I've ever met in my life. Now, I've met norteños, homes. Having been a norteño at one point in time, I ran into a lot of homeboys there. Salas, homeboys from San Fran, Oakland, Richmond, Modesto, Turlock, Tulare County, Fresno County. It just doesn't matter. Even Yuba City, Ukiah, everything. And I ran into homeboys from everywhere, from the 530 all the way back to the 9-1 sickness. The shit's raw, right? And it's real. But what I wanted to talk about here is the city of San Jose, the hub city, right? Our hub city, not Compton, but Sanjo. See, Sanjo's always moved differently, and I've spoken on it in a lot of the spit that I've given, a lot of the game and knowledge that you can't get in college. I've talked about the city of San Jose. Them Sharks hit differently. Now, I remember when the Sureños started to establish in Sanjo, they've always been their homes in pockets, but when they really started to be known and they were putting Sanjo on them and Sharks all over them, the homies from Sanjo was tripping. There was a lot of tripping going on, so there was a lot of guerra. There was a lot of war in the 90s between the Sanjoneros, Sanjos Norteños versus the Sanjos Sureños. But of course, ultimately, everybody is still established and doing what they does. Because now I don't wolf on the homeboys from Sanjo because I know they're real. But things have changed. See, times have changed. More so in the city of Sanjo, everybody's about that ferry. Yeah, everyone's about their bread, their money nowadays. But I think that's the case in every city, right? Every other city we go, we're trying to get that dough. Everybody's chasing the bag. So gangbanging isn't what it was back in the late 80s and 90s. It has changed a lot. For the better, for the most part. People still getting clipped for the most part, right? People are still getting hit daily, especially in a city like San Jose. It's a pretty big city that has a big population of raza. So if you go into the city of Sanjo, having never been there, people, the 408 is different. There's so many different vados, kind of like Los. There's just an abundance of vados. Every little pocket, every little corner, everyone has their hood and everyone plants their flags and stands 10 toes down for what they truly believe in. Now, there's homeboys from the east side. There's Palmas. There's so many other different vados. Of course, the mob, west side, there's the mobsteros, and there's other mobs. And we're going to get to that right now. Then on the south side, you had the MFG, the motherfucking gangsters, Capitol Park, all kinds. And the north side, it just gets too crazy, right? There's so many different vados, north and south, that if you go to the Barrio Esa flea market, so you better watch your back. I said, watch your back, right? Sanjo's always been known to set trip on people from other cities. It's just in the awa out there. It's just the way they are. They hold it down. They're from Sanjo. They're Sanjoneros. They're Sharksteros. So they feel that they have to apply the pressure just a little bit more than anyone else. It's kind of like LA, homes. If you're from San Diego, if you're from the Valle, you go into Los, and hey, where you from, homes? This is Los. They're representing, right? And they feel like they're the big brother to our little brother. And that's okay. It's understandable. When you're doing big city living, you're going to get big city problems. Bang, bang. Now, trip out in YA, I remember Sanjo actually broke off and had their own little carro for a minute, which was the CX Ibeers. And I remember they told us, whoever's coming with us, come on. Whoever's not going with the poop butts from Fresno. I was like, what? What do I do? Which way do I go? Sanjo. And I went over there with the homeboy on a wheel, got fashion, and that's just what it was. Now, I was a CX Ibeer, I was City Vida, even though I was from a small town. Go figure. At that point in time, a lot of my homeboys were from Sanjo, so I could do that. But what I wanted to talk about here, with all that being said, is about something not a lot of people know about. And it's never been really spoken about on YouTube. Now, there's a group out there, the mob. Okay, when I say mob, a lot of people think the West Side Mob. And yes, the West Side Mob is probably the bigger clique of the mob. But there's several gangs in San Jose that claim mob. And they all comprise this group of mobsteros. Now, back in the 2000s, man, they were the only gang in Northern California ever to be green lighted. Is this thing on? Do you hear me now? I said the only gang or hood ever. Well, there was one other that they rode with them, right? But they weren't green lighted like the mob. Now, when I think mob, I think West Side Mob. Shout out to Monchis and FIFA and vatos that I did time with. Muggsy from the mob, right? Monkey. All these vatos I did time with from the mob. The mobsteros were real. It was a real vicious vato and continues to be. See them one over there? They're called the mob. They're going to continue to be called the mob. And they're going to continue to do bad things to people, right? They've always held their own in the city of San Jose, but they've always been a little bit different. Kind of like the Fresno Bulldogs, only different. I'm not trying to disrespect you right there, but at the same time, I'm giving you my spit, right? Kind of like the Fresno Bulldogs in the 2000s, but the mob decided to do that for no other reason because they got caught up in some certain situations within the Norte stronghold. They decided to do the bulldog thing. They decided to just become mobsteros. It actually got to a point, and I've heard this from several Norteños, real ones, man, that actually did time in the county jail, Santa Clara County stand-up. You know, it's different. It's different, right? The whacking's very different. That there was a point in time when vatos would get locked up and they were asked, are you a Norteño or are you a mobstero? And if they said mobsteros, the homeboys had to take flight on them. Now, that's how serious it got. Now, I understand down in LA, this ain't no thing but a motherfucking chicken and waffle thing, right? I understand that it hits different in the Southern California, where vatos have been green lighted for various reasons. Hey, I don't even want to speak on it. They does what they does, cuz. Oh, Pablo, guard. Shh, don't tell nobody. Something about the West Coast. Now, let me tell you, the mob was on some of that same hype. When they were green lighted, and for what reason, I will not speak on. But they got a temporary green light where vatos were really tripping on them. But the mob fought back. See, there's a lot of groups that are just taking, how much do I got to pay? Can I get back? Can I get the bounce back? So I got the double, triple. Right? They're trying to get their bounce back. But this group didn't want their bounce back. See, this group was willing to fight for their stake and their claim in the city of San Jose. Now, of course, you know, in that times, there were Sureños in San Jose, but mostly it was comprised of Norteño warriors. Norteños have always been the deepest, and you best believe this. Sureños are strong, but Norte is the deepest for once in our life, right? They were the deepest in the city of San Jose. So believe me, it was on. The funk was on when the mob used to get into the county jail or come around, man. It was funk season, of course, because they were the one group that basically broke off. Now, a lot of the other gangs and groups in San Jose were told that they had broke off, but they hadn't broke off. They just had a verde. They had a lightweight, you know, I mean, to what degree verde? I can't call it, you know, a medium. They had a lightweight verde. But they bubbled back for reals. Now, there was another group at the time called the Palmas, right? And for those that know, everyone that knows about Palmas knows the Palmeros are hit different, right? In the city of San Juan. Eastside Palmas, they're with the business, right? Shout out to the homeboys from Palmas, Rascal, and there's so many others, right? But Palmas was also another group at that time that did not click up with the mob, but was going through some of their same turmoils. You know what I mean? They were dusted and disgusted for a minute, man. And for a minute, they were not playing. They were also at the point in the county jail where they were riding just Palmero. Now, I noticed a lot of gangs in history try to do this. You notice that? I noticed that. You notice that? I noticed that. Look, you feel your allegiance is to your hood or your barrio first and foremost. And that's street politics. That's real. You know, if you grow up in a certain place, you stand 10 toes down for that motherfucking concrete, for that sand, for that mud, for that torta with the mean mud, right? You stand down for yours. But you always got to remember there's always another big bad wolf that'll huff and puff and blow your brick house down lurking. There's always other barrios that are either bigger than yours or they have a different agenda than yours, right? Now, at the end of the day, man, there's groups and organizations that you're aligned with. Okay, and it was just like my barrio, dead end, man. We were the deepest in Merced at one point in time, and we did beef with the north side, the west side, the north side, the north side, the west side. I'm west side, right? We did beef. But at the end of the day, there was a power in a group that was bigger than us, and that was the Norte, and we were all aligned with that. So at the end of the day, we had to realize that's the route. Which way do I go? Which way do I go? Norte, right? That's the way we went. And that calmed a lot of the turmoil, the red on red, the inner beef down. Now, the city of San Jose is the same thing. Most of these gangs are either allied with the Sur or the Norte, okay? things I can't speak on. Now you go to prison, you find out yourself, poop butt, you know what I mean? Go over there and do 15 years on the SNY yard and see how that works out for you. But anyways, you go to prison and you'll learn a lot of the knowledge that I can't even give you that I didn't learn in college, right? But one thing I will say for sure is hands-on is the best way. Unless you got a cellie named Turbo and he's trying to get you to go hands-on. So that's good. Don't do no breaking. Ozone, not trip out. The city of San Juan, like I said, has been different. They reminded me so much of Fresno. See, Fresno was the one group, the Perro Chatos, the Bulldogs, the 209ers in the beginning, that 14ers. They were the ones that were able to actually go to guerra with all groups. They were actually able to eradicate or extract themselves. That's the word, extract themselves from the Norte. They chose to do this as a collective. They chose to do this as a group. All barrios coming together, all group organizations or whatever, chose to extract themselves from the stronghold of a group. That's understandable. It's been tried. Trials and tribulations, that's it, right? It's been trials and tribulations for the rapture of the people to leave the Norte or the Sur or whatever. And for the most part, it never works out. See, there's a lot of the groups that don't want to. Why? You see? Someone saying they're good. They're getting their Michael Yak on, right? They're good where they're at, homes. They claim their water is embraced, it's loved. So if I gotta play a little bit, right? They do what they does. But there's always going to be that bad apple. One bad apple gonna spoil the whole. Oh, know what I'm saying? Oh, Donny Husband. There's always going to be that one bad apple that decides that if for no other reason my lentils, they're dirty. So again, my nose itches. I'm just doing bad today. There's always going to be that one bad apple that decides to get the homeboys all riled up. And that's treasonous. That's traitors. That's poisonous. If it ain't broke, don't throw a stick in the smoke to try to fix it. Balki Bartakamos. This ain't no perfect stranger shit. This is real life, homes. Right? Let the water do what it does. But there's always that one, man, you know, that tries to bring people away. Now, that's what happened with the mob. That's what happened with Fresno. There was always certain individuals that felt their water was first and foremost. Primera. Órale, rico suave. La primera en mi barrio es primera. Órale, Gerardo. Look, of course, everybody's going to put their neighborhood. Everyone's going to feel a certain way. Say it with your chest, Wes. Obaru. Everyone's going to feel a certain way about their hood. But really, what is it, Humps? What is it? How does your hood feel about you is the real question, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, the mob, having been greenlighted in them years, there was a crazy time in the city of San Jose. I remember I was incarcerated. Homeboys from San Jose would get at me, and I even started hitting them. Hey, you a mobster, what, right? Because I felt some type of way. The reason I felt some type of way is I reflected back on all those times in the CYA when I was talking to California Third Mob and with hella homeboys, Pueblo, the song Chucky, the song Monchi, the song, so many different homeboys from San Jose, and they all had that same flavor. And the flavor was San Jose is here and Merced, you're way down there. And also, well, we're catching up. We got AKs, ARs, and things of that nature too, allegedly. Don't trip. We'll be there one day. We'll be together like Diana Ross and Marvin Gaye. But the fact remains that these vatos were always a little bit different. So I could see it happening. You know, when the homeboys would get at me, yeah, bro, the mob done broke off. I said, how the mob, to what degree a mob did it break off? When did that happen? You know? But it did, and it's fact. See, and a lot of people sweep it under the rug and they don't want to talk about it. You know, one thing about the North and South and the issues, the underlying issues. See, no matter what, if there's unity, no matter what, if there's canalismo, no matter what, if there's an end of hostilities, there's always going to be that little bit of animosity. We see it on YouTube all the time. I'm hated on because I'm a Northern California guy with the Northern California channel, homeboy, representing the raza. And I'm going to continue to do that because that's what I do. Gar! Can I continue? Oh, I can't? Well, fuck you, puto. I'm going to still continue to do what I does. The Woods got my back. The brothers know what it is. The South, they love me, right? The North, they hate me and love me. Hated and love it, the young guns on top. And we going to shine, homie, until my heart stops. It's what it is, okay? It's totally understandable to be hated for one reason or another, right? But me, myself, I see it as, you know, when people are like getting at me a certain way or, oh, you're off-brand, homes, or you don't know what's up, you're from up north, man. I take it to heart, you know, and I trip. I see, even though I'm not with that, I trip because I was here at the same time. I know what I'm doing. I did time down south, right? I know what it is with the school, man, and I respect it. You know what I mean? Because I'm not trying to get infected or affected by it. But I will say this, and these are facts, man. San Jose was always the one city that I seen it coming from. Hey, see the motor from San Jose over there? Yeah, one of these days, oh, they're going to get too big for their britches. And they did, okay? I got a lot of love and a lot of respect for the city of San Jose. I don't wiggle, man. I don't wiggle like a week ago. I was all up in San Jose, like, shh, don't tell nobody, right? Homies are mad than a motherfucker right now. We almost had him. Almost. It only counts as, roses and hand grenades. One thing I'll say is facts. I've always had love for San Jose. Some of my best friends are from the city of San Jose. I got a brother from San Jose. Facts. But it happened, man. And the mob is a group and a gang, a gaggle of individuals, man, that have always been different. See, you rock differently in the city of San Jose. And like I said, the mob is just not the West Side Mob. There's several other groups and gangs that comprise the mob. So the mob has about 5 different branches, right? But the original and the biggest being the West Side Mob. And those were the guys that I kind of ran into the most. You know, I didn't know. I'm from Mercedes. I'm from the West. I didn't know. I just thought all the mob was West Side Mob. I was unaware, man, of the circumstances and the situation that put them into different waters. I didn't know. But one thing I knew for sure is they came together, homes, and there was guerra. There was a lot of war in the city of San Jose. And bodies dropped. People fell. Red on red was very prevalent in them times. And like I said, man, it came to a point in county jail where vatos are like, hey, you're a palmero or a mobstero, what's happening? Or you're a norteño. And then vatos would be like, ma, whoo. They'd get off, right? Of course, over time, it changed. And I think it was a good thing to change. You know, when groups try to break off and form their own situation or get it going on, all that does is cause more turmoil in the city, more dissension, more destruction, more raza breaking apart. See, that's one thing about us brown people, man. We love to be that one, huh? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Like and subscribe. We love to be that one without thinking of how it affects the general, community. See, we got a lot going on in the community. There's going to be people that get in my DMs. Why are you always talking about gay stuff? Why don't you talk about something that counts? I said, why don't you open up your ears and listen? I am. Here's the message. It destroys our communities. The more people we have fighting amongst each other, we're all the same gente. We're all brown, homes. Doesn't matter if you grew up over there by the 7-Eleven and your ass grew up over there by Lucky's. You guys don't remember Lucky's, huh? That's old school. And you grew up by Lucky's. In the end, homes, you guys all go to the same school. Hey, that's how it used to be for us, man. We grew up on the west. Vatos grew up on the north. And we grew up with each other. We knew each other. I boned half their sisters. Facts. They're about to run out mad. He did that. Yeah, he did that. He did that. Yeah, I did do that. Later on in life, though. But my thing is this. We beefed to the death, Holmes. We was trying to hurt each other bad. And then at the end of the day, now we all barbecue together. Hey, what do you want, Holmes? You want carne asada? Hell yeah, Holmes. I like it. And I really don't know how you like it because your water was off-brand. There's always going to be that tension there. There's always going to be that. But at the end, we're all the same. It's just something I wanted to talk about, a story that's never really spoken on about the city of San Jose, man. San Jose is a very well-respected raza city. There's so much cultura there. There's so much loved ones there. There's so much gente, so much canalismo. When you go into the city of San Jose, you feel embraced by the power of the people, right? But I'm not going to blame it on gang members. I'm not going to blame it on certain individuals, There's a lot of secrets in the city of San Jose people sleep on and don't know about. Why? Because, hey, it's none of their business. And second of all, because motherfuckers from San Jose already know what time it is. It's just everyone else that doesn't. And it's up to me with a platform for the people, by the people, to express certain situations and tell certain stories. And that's one story, man, that really wasn't spoken on. Now, you ask yourself, why do the norteños, they don't do it like the South? They don't greenlight a lot of audios. You know what I mean? Because vatos are, hey, vatos are right there, right there. Oh, norteño. Motherfuckers know better, homes. They ain't giving you no reason to do no type of green lights or none of that. Vatos will watch their back. Watch your back. I said, watch your back. Stand up, Chucky. Get down, demon or whatever, spider, whoever your name is. Get down, because vatos up north, I don't want to say are loyal to a fault, but they're loyal to the point of, hey, homie, this is what it is, and we're all together. And so we need everybody we got, and that's facts. Hey, I used to preach that tremendously and with abundance to the homies. Bro, you're all that I have. He used to be like, yeah, but you bum my old lady. Put that to the side. That was before. And her sister, did she die? It was double up. It was bomb. That was before we were kicking it, homes. Now that you're the homie from the water, we're all that we have. Tell you later, those chilaquiles were bomb in the morning. And that's just what it'd be like. Anyways, man, that's the big secret in San Jose. That did happen, man. In the 2000s, man, they were green-lighted to a certain point, man. But they never backed down. And I respect the mob for that. Now, eventually, they got within the fold, the household, man. They were embraced and brought back. And that's the way it should be, man. It's all love for loved ones. But it did happen. And I remember, man, that shit even touched the vibe. Vatos were like, hey, you hear about the homies from San Jose? What? Get off where you're mad at. I was like, all of them? I got hella homeboys. I even got a brother from San Jose. What's happening? And they were like, nah. The mob, eh? I said, what? Because I did a lot of time with Vatos back in the day. So I was like, For reals? Damn, I'm gonna sock the homeboy well in his face. You already know it. Wind's blowing. With that being said, man, I hope that you guys move smooth with a purpose. It's a Sunday, the last day for a fun day. Back to business as usual comes Monday. Boom, boom, boom. You know what we does. I hope you like the new setup, man. Don't get set up or fed up to it. That's hard because you already know what it is. We'll pull your card, man. This is the gun. Hey, go out there and get it for your familia. No one else will. No one else can. No one else should. It's up to you, man. Thumbs up if you like it. Thumbs down if you don't. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I can't even say what I say today. But it is what it is, man. This is the gun. Bang, bang. Guard! Is this over? Can I press this? Can I press it, guard? Man, fuck yeah, I'm going to press it anyways.